What's up, giggly witches?
It's episode 26.
And we are here today to talk about sigil magic. Hooray!
Woo! Okay, that was pretty
That
good.
was good. I wanted to redeem myself from last week. I was like, I'm on board. I know what episode it is.
We love the volley intro. Is that what we call it, volley? I got like a
I
kink in my
guess.
neck today.
Oh,
You know when you're on the precipice, you know it's about to be a kink in your neck, but it's not quite. You know
yeah.
what I'm
And you can
talking about?
hear it. You can like feel it. And you're
And I'm
like
like, no,
walking
no, no,
around
no,
like,
no, no, no. Like, don't move around too fast. And then I was
yeah.
just wiggling and wiggling around, and I was like, oh, careful.
I saw this video of Chapel Roan talking about it was like some trend that she was like doing it to, and she was like, one time when I was 18, I was being sassy to my mom, like on purpose, like being silly sassy. And she was
Yeah.
like, and I was swinging my head like this, and all of a sudden she goes, then I heard water
Ugh.
in my neck, and she was like, Mom, I think something's wrong. And her mom was like, girl, you were just being so sassy. I don't have time. Blah blah blah. She's like, so then she was like, okay, it's probably like fine. And then she says how she goes to like walk outside because then all of a sudden she's like, I'm gonna vomit. And then she like passes out and her dad finds her and then they take, I don't know, she did something to her, her neck. Crazy.
I was like, I don't know what it is, but that doesn't sound good.
No.
Your neck.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
Gotta be careful.
Gotta be careful with your neck. Gotta be careful.
Okay.
Well, today we're gonna talk
Today.
about today. We kind of mentioned sigils last week, so we thought, what
Yes.
the heck? Why not talk about sigils? So we're gonna
What the
talk
heck?
about what sigils are, how to use them, how to make your own sigils, which I think is a very fun, creative practice. And Pam, I saw you reposted a video about not using sigils you find on the internet. Didn't you repost that on TikTok?
Yes, I did. I thought you were just gonna say not using sigils, and I was like, but
That
we're
you
making
find
an
on the internet from
episode.
from other people. No, from
Yeah,
other people that other people
yeah.
create.
I mean, I mean, I guess like use your intuition, but I
Yeah.
feel like you never really know what someone's put into that sigil. And then also, like, a bajillion people just saw it. So
Yeah.
you don't know, like, who else is putting intention into that sigil. So I feel like it's important to, like, make your own or to, like,
Yeah.
use a trusted source. Like, if
Yeah.
Sadie made me a sigil, I wouldn't be like,
Hmm.
what'd
I
she
don't
do to
know.
this?
If anyone that used to be in the Alchemy Collective or the Coven back in the day would remember that, like, we made sigils all the time, anytime we did a spell, because it's a great, like, you can make a sigil on its own, but it's also a
Hmm.
great, like, part of a spell, which I think down the road we'll do a whole episode about like spell work specifically. But, you can make a sigil and etch it into the candle that you're using a
Yes.
candle spell for, or a whole host of other things. But I love sigils. And yeah, I've actually never like made one where I was like, okay, you guys use this sigil for today's
Yeah.
spell. It's always like walking through the steps of like how to create your own, because I think that's part of like the meaningful process. So not to say like you find sigils out there and it's bad to use it. Not at
Yeah.
all. Uh, but I think like so much of magic is like that mental and energetic connection. Like you need to be in it with it. So I think creating the
Yeah.
sigil itself is a cool part of the process. So
Even
knowing
in
how to do
spell
it.
work,
Yeah.
and again, we could talk about this in a longer episode, but even in spell work, like using spells that you find, I post spells, I'm sure you have posted spells, but like you can use our spells, that's fine also, but also like take the
Mhm.
spell and be like, okay, does this feel good to me to do it this way? Or can I
Mhm.
use this as like a jumping point and like create my
Yeah.
own from here kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But before we start telling everything about
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly. Pam, you got some silly goofy time for
I
us?
do. So the
Over to
first
you.
thing,
Sorry.
thanks, Sadie. The first thing I wanted to say was that I think it's important. You look so far away.
I
When we
know, I'm
first,
like, I'm kind of lean back a little. Relax.
When we first started, like you were so good at like being here and I was always back here. And my mom was like, Pam, you look so tiny. Like you have to come back.
I just felt like all of a sudden I was like, I'm just gonna see how far back the wall is.
Chill.
It's farther than I thought. What if
Okay.
we're super chillaxed today?
I
You know
love
what?
leaning back in this chair.
I think we should bring back the word chillaxed.
Chillax.
How does everybody feel about that? The millennials in the house? Ooh,
I'll
ooh.
make it the poll on Spotify. So if you're on Spotify, please vote in our polls.
Today's the today's
Today's
episode is sponsored by Chillaxid.
by the 90s. um, okay, so I wanted to say that it's important to, okay, it's important to do your own self-reflection,
Mm.
but in that, I think it's also really important to ask your friends
Mm.
because here I was last week sitting being like, I don't really think I'd like, I did launch my business and that I am proud of and all the things, but I was
Mm.
like, I don't really think that I did like that much.
Mm.
And then, and like, I don't know, I was having kind of a hard time like finding a lot of things that I was like proud of.
Yeah.
And then you were like, let me tell you what I'm proud of you for. And then I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. You're so right. Thank you. And so I wanted
Welcome.
to say that sometimes you don't see your own progress
Hmm.
or things that like the little things that you do
Yeah.
um that are meaningful to other people. So don't be afraid to like ask your friends and be like, "Hey, can you help me? Like, what do you think I should be proud of myself for this year?"
Yeah. I
Kind
think
of thing.
that's,
Okay, I'm kind
yeah.
of
I'll come back to it. I thought that was nice though for us
it
to
was
relax for a minute.
it was.
I'm gonna
Um
scooch. I'm just not comfortable. Okay, I'm like literally in my bed. You can
I
see
was gonna
my
say
quilt
because are
and
you
stuff.
sitting in the bed? It's so uncomfy that way.
Yeah, I'm all like
Um
crisscross applesauce and
yeah.
stuff.
I say that as I every single day of my life sit crisscross applesauce in my
I literally sit
computer
like
chair.
this all day in bed working when I'm
I know,
home. I
and then
don't
my
just like working
knees
from my
hurt,
bed.
and I'm like, why do
I
my
know.
knees hurt?
Oh, I don't know why my knees are same.
um, and then my other, okay, well, I didn't think of another silly goofy until just now, but I had one other one that I wanted to share,
Okay.
and then one I almost just told Sadie as a story, and then I was like, I'll save it. But have you heard of like, are you familiar with like void moons in astrology?
Yes.
Okay.
But
So
explain it for everybody.
yes, so their full name, their government name is they're void
Voidifilus.
of they're void of course moons. And it's like void of course, but I keep reading it as like void of
Void, of
course.
course.
Of
What kind of
course.
moon is it? Void, of
It's
course.
void of course. And I thought that that was silly. But a void moon is when a planet, I keep saying that, when a moon is in a sign. So the
Hmm.
moon changes signs every like 2.5, 3-ish days.
Yeah.
And oh, I just heard like fire crackling and I just realized that my ambiance is still playing in the
My
background.
ambiance.
And a void moon, so is when it's in that a particular sign and
Uh-huh.
it's done transiting other planets until it changes signs, is what a void moon is.
Wait, could you say that again? I mean, I've heard of it before, but I didn't really know what its literal meaning was.
Yes. So, for example, at 3:16 this afternoon, the moon was in Aries and it was
Uh-huh.
void. So we had a void of course, moon in Aries, and that just meant it was done like transiting. If I'm understanding this correctly, now I'm nervous
Okay.
that I'm explaining
No, no,
this wrong.
no.
Um, it just means that it's like done transiting like with other planets. So it has like no other like
Oh, it's by
interaction.
itself. It's in the void.
Yeah,
Of course.
of
That makes
course.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, I
I hope
understand.
I'm explaining that correctly. But at least as far as I understand, that's what
It's
it
in the
is.
void.
It's in
Usually
the
it's
void.
transiting with other planets, but then it's just the moon in this little section of the sky.
Yeah. And it's like when the mood is void, they say it's like a not a good time to like manifest and things because it's in the
Yeah, like
void.
initiate stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I heard too. But it's like void all the time.
It's
Literally every
only,
2.5 days.
I have this like calendar that I got this year and it gives you all of the transits.
Yeah.
So right now your
I
moon was just
I
void
have two.
from 3:16 p.m. to 2:11.
Yeah, it's like short times
Yeah.
because somebody gifted me like an astrology of the this was a couple years ago, but that's how I learned what void moons are because it noted every single one and it said
Yeah.
don't manifest whatever. And I was like, these freaking void moons are happening all of the time. How do I keep track of them? I was like, there's that's a, it's like a few hours or something, but I'm just like, what if I forget?
I know. But I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like, do what feels good to you. Like, if you're
Yeah,
gonna be not doing your spell work because you're like those freaking void moons
freaking void moons.
and you
It's four
can't,
four four
whatever.
right now. It's 444 right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
And you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's not the end of the world. But yeah, I
No.
remember like I was like, I'm not using this planner anymore because I'm stressing. I can't live like this.
Um, okay, and then my last silly goofy that I just thought of was my aunt, shout out Tonti. Um, her she sent me this like photo of her watching Giggly Witches, but on
Oh
YouTube, but it was
yeah.
like she put it on her TV. And she said that Ellie, her dog, every time I've only met the dog twice. She's a puppy. She's a little baby still. And every time I started talking, she would like sit up and like look around.
She's
She's
like
like, where
she's
is
like, I know
she?
that voice.
She's
What
here.
the heck? I know that one.
And I thought it was cute.
That's so cute. It is really cool to see. I remember in when I did goddess sayings, like people would tag us in like stories and stuff of them watching it on the TV, and you're like, oh, I'm on a TV,
I'm on
even though it's
TV.
YouTube, but you're like, kind of like I
I'm
could
on
put
TV.
myself up on the TV anytime I wanted, but
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yes.
That's
I
cool.
literally responded to it like, hey, look, I'm on TV.
Look, I'm on TV. Look, it's Honey. She's on TV. You remember that?
Wait, say that again?
You know
No.
stuff you just like you saw like once in a movie and for the rest of your life. That's how you say something.
Yes, I honestly can't wait to watch Ice Age with you when you're here.
Well, we Grandpa Joe on
I
the
know,
couch.
literally.
Okay, but in the hit film Honey, starring Jessica
Oh
Alba,
yeah.
there's
I
a
used to watch
there's
that all the time. Why don't I
yeah, we watched
remember
it all
it?
the time. But there's a part where her music video is on the TV and the little kid goes, "Look, it's Honey. She's on TV." And he says TV like that, like
TV.
TV. And me and my friends just always would say it.
There's honestly a chance that I have Honey and we could watch it.
And then can we learn all the dance moves?
Yeah.
That's all I want to do when I come
Okay.
is create or maybe our own choreography.
Well, honestly, if it snows,
That's
that's
all
all
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
be able to
be able to
do.
do because we're not gonna be able to drive anywhere.
Not a problem. I
I just
remember
sent my dad this because I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I have to show you right now because he was like, well, you guys will be able to do something. And I was like, you don't understand. This is the road. This was literally January 16th last year. I don't know if you could see. That's ice. That's
yeah,
all ice.
you guys don't have stuff to get rid of it.
We have like three snowplows
No salt.
and no
No salt
salt.
is crazy.
This is like, and this isn't like day of snow. This is like 2 days after it snowed. You
Yeah,
know what I
that's
mean? Like,
crazy. Yeah, I mean here it's crazy weather throughout the winter, off and on. I mean not all the time, but off and on. But like yeah, like stuff is salted and plowed immediately,
yeah.
so it doesn't
My
really affect
I
us
was
that
talking to my
much.
aunt and she goes, because she just moved like farther north. And she goes, um, sometimes I don't even realize it's gonna snow, but then I go out and they've already salted the roads before like
Yeah,
and she's like, huh, I guess it's gonna snow.
yeah. I mean, I went to Appleton, which is a town like 2 hours away from me, a couple weekends ago. By
I
the
feel
way,
like
I
that's
never
a
put this
very
on my
like
story, but I got a tattoo. But it kind of faded after. It's a little rose. Okay,
Yeah, I
the
can't
light
see it.
is it's
It
a little
looks
rose, but the
like
leaf kind of
pen.
came off. Yeah, yeah. I need to get it touched up.
Okay.
But anyways,
Very nice. Very cute.
um, I went there
I'll see it in
to.
person. It's hard to see on the.
Yeah, it's really faded. I need to get it touched up. It's hard to. I realized this happened the last time I got a tattoo in winter here. It fades really. It sucks to heal them because it's so dry here in winter, and they don't heal well. Like the ink doesn't take because it just
Yeah.
like shrivels up. But no, yeah. Anyways, I was like, I never posted this on my story. Nobody knows I got this tattoo. I'm just so used to everybody knowing everything about
I
me. But
saw this girl being like, because have you seen those tights that are like fleece on the inside, so but they just look like skin?
I was gonna get a pair of those just for Nashville and New York because I was like, I want to wear my cute outfits.
You should because it's freezing. It's so cold.
It's not compared to where I'm right now. It's gonna feel warm to me. It's like zero.
But I saw this girl post about like a review about them. She goes, I hate these. How are people supposed to know I'm cool with tatted legs? Like, no.
We could draw them on ourselves. I'll screen print my little Edward Scissorhands portrait onto
Yeah.
it. No, but I did almost order them from Amazon. Um, for anyone that's like, what? They went viral on TikTok, on my TikTok algorithm at least, that
Yeah.
they just look like you're wearing sheer tights, but it's really fleece tights.
Yes.
But then I was like, do I need to spend $18 on a pair of these for a
They're
week and a half and cold?
$18.
The one on Amazon were.
Wow.
I was like, tights that I'm gonna wear for a week and a half. No.
No.
Not that that's a ton of money, but I was just like, no, I'm gonna literally throw them in the trash after. I mean, I have to ship stuff home from New York because I'm not taking a winter jacket down to South America, but I could have just shipped them home. But I just was like, no, Sadie, just wear pants. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Honestly, I just like wear the tights.
Yeah. I do think I have sheer tights around here. They don't do anything, but I am packing my cute knee-high boots though.
Okay.
That was a big debate for myself because I was like, they have to fit in your suitcase, but I'm gonna mail them home
Okay. Yeah.
because they'll be warmer. It was that or my Ugg boots, and Ugg boots are not cute. You know, they're warm, but they're not
They're
cute.
warm, but they're not
And you need
cute.
something other than a
And they have
sneaker.
no traction.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, back in the boots. We'll be wearing pants,
Yeah.
but yeah,
All
very
right.
excited. But man, if we have to, everybody right now, if you're listening to this on Thursday and it comes out, close your eyes and manifest that on Saturday there's no snow and everything's fine for my arrival in Nashville.
Yeah.
Please, universe, thank you, universe, so much.
Thank you.
Shout out, love you guys. Oh, but everyone keeps asking me like, "What are you doing in Nashville?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, hanging out with Pam." I'm like, "I don't care."
Um,
Same with
I
New York.
know.
They're like, "What are you doing in New York?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going there to like visit a person. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I have no idea, no
I
plans."
don't know.
I was like,
Yeah. We'll figure some stuff out. I figured we would
yeah. I was like, I
talk
want to,
after.
go to Broadway, see what that's about, hang out with Pam. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's very exciting. I'm gonna be there in like, I'm trying to do the math in my head, like what, like 4 or 5 days?
4 or 5 days. Yeah.
What day is it? Tuesday? It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go. I can't wait to leave. I have cabin fever. I have cabin fever really bad.
Yeah. I know because you can't really like go on your like walks. It's too
No.
cold.
Like last year when I was home a little bit longer, I like muscled through it, but I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's really cold this year. And I don't have a car, so and everybody's gone, and I have cabin fever. I'm like,
Yeah. I understand.
I'll just peel my skin off. So just like pacing around in circles. What do I do with myself?
Yeah. No, I understand that. I definitely
But
understand.
but it's all good. Um,
It's all good.
I was starting to feel travel burnout, like when I was in Oaxaca, the last place I was before I came home. And now I'm like, I'm like, girl, just chill. Be where you are. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm either travel burnout or I have cabin fever. I just be medium.
Yeah.
Just be normal.
That's why I think like once I start traveling, because I mean I've toured, so I've done the thing where you're gone for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And I think what I found is that I like traveling in small bursts. Like let
Yeah.
me be gone for like 2, 3 weeks and then come home.
Yeah.
And then I'll
Yeah. If I'm with someone or people, it's way easier because I'm not making every decision. And then if I stay somewhere at least a month, then it's not so bad because a
yeah.
lot of the fatigue just comes from finding a new apartment all the time, having to like read tons of reviews, and then the anxiety of you don't know what you're gonna get. Like Mexico City was really hard to find good apartments. Like
Yeah.
I whatever. If anyone's going there and needs help, just hit me up. I have a whole recommendation rundown of how to find a good apartment on Airbnb because you can't trust the reviews. But anyways, and yeah, just like my last few weeks there, I felt like I was moving around a lot. But
Yeah, you
um
were.
yeah. And just yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a place with the last place I was, I didn't have a place with a kitchen, a full kitchen. Like I had a fridge and like kettle, so I can get you so far. But when you can't really cook, so you're like going out to eat every day and then you have to like choose where to eat every day. Exhausting.
Yeah.
It's just like
Honestly,
all that
having
little
to feed
stuff.
yourself every day is exhausting.
I am really bad at feeding myself enough every day because it is exhausting.
It's terrible. Don't
It's,
like it.
yeah,
Don't like it.
I don't like it. That's why I hyper focus on specific meals and then I just eat them until they're so disgusting to me that I
I
never want to eat
actually
it
just
again.
had that conversation with my aunt earlier today, where she was like, sometimes I just all I eat are salad, 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 salad. And then she's like, and then I can't eat salad anymore. And then
Yeah,
it's just a whole cycle. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like a big ADHD thing. You have like a hyperfixation meal. And she was like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that's what I do.
yeah.
Like,
That's what I do too.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I okay, I was trying to think of silly goofies, but I couldn't think of any. But I
That's
just thought while we
okay.
were talking, I thought of a bit that I'd like to share that I think is really fun if anybody else would like to use this one. This is
Okay.
from when I used to work at Urban Outfitters.
Okay.
Have you ever worked in a retail store? Everybody's got a like walkie-talkie, And we had a bit there that I still like to use to this day. I'm just thinking of it because I said it before we started recording because my phone went off. But anytime the phone would start to ring, everybody on the walkie would go, "Who's calling?" Like everybody would go, we'd volley back and forth. Who's calling? Who's calling? Who's calling? And that's still my favorite thing when my phone goes off. I go, "Who's calling?" I don't know why we did that or who did it first. But that was from my first retail job in Well, that was my first, but my first time I was a manager in
Mm,
Madison, Wisconsin when I was in college, which was
TBT.
a very long time ago because I'm old now. And then the other thing I was thinking about, do you ever do this when you're like eating something and then you start thinking about it and then you have to like Google the brand name of something or whatever? Do you ever do that?
Can you expand
More
more?
context.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, I made eggs this morning.
Yeah.
Speaking of feeding ourselves, I made some eggs and I put Lori's salt on them. Do you like Lori's salt? It's my favorite thing in the world.
Lori,
Lori's,
I don't
Lori's.
know her. No.
Okay. I love Lori's salt. It's just seasoned salt, but it's the best. And I was like, I wonder
Oh, she is.
who she is.
Yeah.
It's not Lori's like it's Lawry. Lori's.
Lowry's.
Lowry's. And it's made by McCormick's. Maybe you
Oh,
know McCormick's.
yeah. So they just
I do
hide
this with
under.
random shit all the time where I'm like, what's the history? Tell me more.
Yeah, you're
Um,
asking me if I do this. We just went over how gum was invented last week.
oh
Like,
yeah, you do this. I guess I do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there eating and the like little cell was in front of me. So I spent my whole breakfast reading the Wikipedia page for McCormick's
What'd you
and
find out?
then
Anything
looking at their
exciting?
website. Well, I did find something I enjoyed. And that was that the founder's name was Willoughby McCormick. And I thought, Willoughby, that is a cool name. I like
Very
it.
cute. I
And
feel
I
like I
think
would
if I
name
have
a
a son
little
ever, I will
tiny
name him
piglet
Willoughby.
Willoughby.
Yeah. And Will for short. And they don't know they're like, oh, for William? No, for Willoughby.
Willoughby.
And then I played that all out in my brain of like, yeah, that's the name. That's it.
Mm,
If I ever have a son, maybe I'll tell my
Willoughby.
brother. Be like, I have a brilliant idea for your son's name if he has a son. He's not having a kid right now. That's just he's the most likely
For future.
first in line. Oh my God. So that's what's been going on with me, learning about the history of McCormick's and having cabin fever.
Mm,
And now we can talk about sigils.
amazing. So
Let's
fun.
go.
Let's go.
Woo!
Oh my God. I tried to do my makeup and every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, that doesn't actually look
Oh,
very
you
good.
know what? I want to share this. Now,
Okay.
speaking of makeup. Okay. I've been doing these higher self meditations.
Okay.
So basically just kind of like inviting my higher self to like come meet me and asking like, what do you have to share with me? Or just vibing in the energy, you know? And I think so you can look up like higher self guided meditations on YouTube, but mostly I just have been like doing this on my own because I haven't found one that I like love. I actually listened to the strangest one today that I'll tell you. Oh, this is a silly goofy. It was so strange. I was like, what? Why are we doing this now?
And you kept going.
It was only a 10-minute meditation, but it was so funny. I was like, I probably was sitting there like this, making a face. What? But anyways, for anyone that wants to try this, I think this is a really fun practice. But so and I'm very visual, so that's helpful in this scenario too. But I just sort of like did a meditation. I did what I do to like kind of like drop in as I like count my breath for like a few rounds where I like to just do like 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, release 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, like box breaths. I like to
Yeah.
do that, but I like count the numbers so that my brain quiets down, you know? Like literally count. And then I imagined my like third eye like opening and beaming out light and then like
Mm-hmm.
that creating like almost like a pathway. Ooh, look at my hand in the that creating a pathway. And
Okay.
then seeing a figure off in the distance through this beam of light beaming out of my forehead, like walking towards me with
Uh-huh.
the intention that this is me, my higher self, almost like my future self. Like she's like coming, she's got a message for me, she's gonna tell me what's up. I'm gonna feel
Yeah.
into her vibe, whatever. But I took note of how she showed up, like what she was wearing
Okay.
and um like any like details like that. And so then I've been like she wasn't that different to what I have now, but she was wearing all cheetah print, which I have already. And but I in my storage unit I have this like furry cheetah print coat that she was wearing. I was like, I want that back. But anyways, I already have a ton of cheetah print. And she had red nails and red lipstick on, which is why I'm
Okay.
wearing red lipstick now. The past since I saw this, I've been putting red lipstick on every day to get into the vibe. And we're
The
gonna go get
vibe.
our nails done and I'm gonna get red nails. But like, and she shared with me messages, and I've been doing this for a couple days now, and I feel like it's really helped me with like knowing what I want to share on socials and making really clear plans. Like, it's been really good. I feel like she gives me like the next simple action steps in a way. It like opens up my intuition to see the path forward. But also, just with anybody that wants to try this, like do a higher self meditation and then if there's any like little physical attributes, like you see like she's wearing a certain necklace that maybe you own but you don't typically wear right now, or it's nails or the hairstyle or whatever, like
Yeah.
that can be a way to practice embodying your higher self. And it's like you can make it up if you're like, I'm not super visual, but I feel like my higher self would wear this or would style this or whatever, then do that. It's like, yeah, like it's you making it up, but it's just been fun to kind of like play with that
Love
energy.
that. Sorry, I'm
But let
sitting
me
back here again.
let me tell you about this silly. I'm so glad I remembered this. This was insane.
Okay. I
So I
want to
think the
hear.
title of it was like merge with your higher self or something.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know what I expected. Just like them being there and then like maybe like hugging and okay, now we're one or something. Okay. But this is the visual of it. And I'm sorry if somehow, some way, the creator of this meditation were to listen to this episode. I'm sure it's for some people. It was just not for me when we're worldwide. But okay, I'm also gonna chillax while
Yeah,
until
I've got my
I'm
blankie.
gonna
It's so
every
cold in here.
everybody not if you're driving, but close your eyes and let me take you on a journey.
Yeah.
Okay, so the meditation starts. And the first thing is like, oh, you're in a beautiful meadow. Okay. That that tracks. I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
And
starting
she
off good.
then it said something like, the grass is as soft as a cat. And I thought, hmm,
Interesting
interesting.
comparison. Yeah.
I was like, maybe this person's first language isn't English. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or that's cool. I was like, okay. Oh, first distraction. Oh, a cat. Okay. And then it was like, there's a castle off in the distance. Okay, cool. There's a destination. We're gonna walk towards the castle. I get it. My higher self's probably in that castle because she's a queen or whatever.
Yeah.
So we start walking towards the castle, and she keeps bringing up that, and you're amazed that this castle is so grand, even though it was built in primitive times. And I was like, why is there so much history behind this castle? What primitive times? Whose castle is it? It's brought up multiple times, the word primitive. Now I'm wondering, and I
Is this an
am at this
AI
point.
meditation, you think? Sounds
Maybe, I
like it
don't
is.
know.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why is this an important detail? Why do you keep bringing it up?
Yeah.
We go into the castle, and it's very descriptive about the doors swing open on their own. There's no pulleys, no wire, nothing. It's magic how the doors open, and I'm like,
Okay.
hey, I feel like we could have said that with less words, but I'm with
It's
you.
fine. Yeah.
Let's go in the castle.
We're creating a story here. We've got
And once
it.
again, it's brought up, how was this castle built in such primitive time? I
Okay.
don't know.
I
It's
don't know.
crazy in here. And then I'm into it for a little bit because it's like, there's these beautiful arches and these columns. This is with specific detail. Beautiful columns that don't support anything. Why did you have to add the end part of that? You could just say beautiful.
I don't support anything. They
Something
serve
like that.
no purpose.
And I was like, okay, great. And then it was like walking into the castle, and it was like, and you walk past this room that's inside, but it's growing fresh apples and oranges. And I was like, cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna practice my clairalience. I'm smelling them.
Yeah.
I get it. They're like, it's warm in here, it's nice. And I'm like, I don't know where this is going at this point,
Yeah.
but I'm in it. I'm
All
here with
right.
you guys.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and there's a beautiful sound of organ music playing throughout the castle. I'm like, okay, an organ. All right. But by the way, my what played in my head, I was like, organ music? Dun, 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 dun. Phantom of the Opera starts playing in my
Oh,
head.
okay.
I'm like, my higher self, this is what she's playing.
Okay.
That wasn't the detail, but it's just like this beautiful organ music is playing throughout the castle. And then so I'm in this apple orchard, orange tree situation, and then she's like, and then you turn and you see a a cloaked figure playing the
Okay.
organ in a red hooded velvet cloak. And I'm like, this is getting a little spooky, but I feel like is that my higher self? Why is
Okay.
she playing the organ? And then she's it is. It's me playing the organ. I don't know why I'm playing the organ. But then she's like, now go merge with your that's and then I was like, okay. And then it's like, and now you're playing the organ. Why I'm playing the organ?
Okay.
And that was so
I can't believe you stuck with it the whole time. I would have been like, I don't have time for this. Like this is like my time for me.
I
I'm
was
finding
like,
something else.
it was only a 10-minute one. I definitely would have like if it was a longer one.
Yeah, but
It all started happening so fast. Like it was, and like there was a point where I was like, "This is so kooky. I'm gonna keep going and see what happens. I gotta know." Um, and then like I think the point of it was that like the organ is what created the beautiful castle, or something. It did not make sense. Um, so that was my meditation this morning.
okay.
Um, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Just kidding. Nobody wants to do that. Well, if anybody does, hit me up. It'll
I'm
be in my
more
YouTube
like
history.
intrigued to
Let me
just
see what
see it.
account. Yeah, it was crazy.
It feels
Um,
like it
Now that
was
I'm saying
AI.
it out, merging with your higher self, guided meditation by my piece of. Oh no,
Presented by
My
My Peace
piece.
Mindfulness. Please enjoy this session.
let's. Okay, I'm gonna read. There's comments on it. I'm gonna see if anyone else thought that was weird. No, everybody's saying that was amazing. That was truly beautiful. My heart is full of gratitude for this meditation. Wow, I'm telling you, this is amazing. I feel like a dick, but I did not understand. I just had a wonderful experience getting guided to my highest self. It's amazing how all of this exists, and not only that, I get guided too.
Can you send it to me?
I literally got goosebumps and teary-eyed. I didn't want to leave. A unique one.
The
That's got
organ?
that right.
A unique
Okay.
one.
I swear, I'm like, I don't even think I was exaggerating when I just rehashed that for you, okay? You have to listen to this and just tell me. The only detail that my brain added that was funny was that when she said the organ music was playing, all I could hear was Phantom of the Opera. That one's on me. She didn't suggest that part, but the rest of it was weird.
This meditation is
Also,
So,
like the images aren't even like
oh
in a
yeah, I don't know.
castle.
My eyes were closed, so I didn't watch it, but the YouTube channel has 103,000
I
subscribers.
know, that's what I was
So,
just looking at. Peace of mind.
the best free guided meditations on YouTube. Hmm, maybe.
Okay.
They have a website. I feel bad that I thought it was so weird and that I'm talking shit, but like that was a weird
Listen,
one to me.
sounds like a weird one.
It was funny though, and I'm glad I got to share
So,
that.
oh my God, sorry, you guys. I keep yawning. I'm
I
tired
know I'm
today.
tired too. So I'm chillaxing back here.
Yeah, I'm really sleepy today.
Me too.
I really don't want to go to work tomorrow.
Mm. I was gonna say me too, but I don't gotta work. I do have a lot of work though, but I don't have to go. It's here in my bed. Okay, let's talk about sigil magic. Now that we've all gone on that journey into the castle built in primitive times and the
With
organ. Now
columns
we've
that
with
support
columns
nothing.
that are not supporting anything because this castle is so magical. It doesn't need columns. It has them because it wants to.
Yeah,
Exactly.
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 Okay.
Okay. Sigils. Pam,
Yes.
what are sigils? What are
Sigils.
sigils anyways?
A sigil is essentially like a symbol that has been infused with intention and magic.
Exactly.
Use it in a
Sigils,
sentence, Sadie.
sigils
date
are
back to
fun.
they date back to primitive times. I can
They
tell you
date back to
that.
primitive times. And you would never, they're so useful, but you would, how did they become so amazing, even though they're from primitive times?
Even though they're from primitive times. I don't know.
But sigils, excuse me, now I feel like I'm all goofy. You know, when you're overtired and you're just like,
Yes, that's kind of how I feel.
um, but sigils are, you know, I'm such a subconscious mind nerd.
Mm,
And sigils are really great because our subconscious mind understands like two ways of communication the best. And one is feeling and emotion. There's a hair like in my hand. One is feeling and emotion. So anytime you're setting an intention, you're doing magic, right? We always talk about like get into the like the feeling, the emotion, bring that forward. The other is symbols. Our
mm,
subconscious is very like symbolic. It really understands symbolism. So
yes.
with sigils, it's really, really useful for our subconscious mind. And that's like that's an ingredient you don't want to miss in your sigil creation too, which, oh, I'm having deja vu. We'll go step by step through it, but you really want to make sure that because you need to like activate, you need to set the intention into the sigil. You can't just like
Hmm.
draw it and be like, great, it's done, right? So you want to like connect that
Yeah.
sigil to the
Also,
emotion of the intention that's behind it, if that makes
yeah.
sense. To get your subconscious on board, because subconscious is where a lot of the magic is happening for us.
Yeah. That's the same also just like with spell work too. You can't just like light
Hmm.
a candle and be like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, you have to like get yeah, you're sending out the frequency, the vibration, and you're implanting it in your subconscious to start making it happen.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's very simplest. It's a symbol.
Yes.
And you can decide what it means and you get to decide how it looks. And there are a couple
Hmm.
different ways that people create them. Also,
Hmm.
you can just you don't have to create it the way that like I'm going to explain, which I don't actually know if it's the same that Pam does it, excuse me. But you can also just like create a symbol that means something to you without this like way of doing it and then
Yeah.
decide what it means. That's
Mhm.
okay too. There's also a lot of you can look up um just like you can look up if you type in like you could look up sigils on Pinterest. So there are like symbolism that you can use for like the different elements, right? Like fire,
Yeah.
water, earth, air. There's set symbolism for that are like sigils. For the different zodiacs, for that mean like man, woman energy, right? Feminine, masculine energy. So there's you can incorporate like common sort of like I don't know, streamlined or like I guess like historical, like there's a tradition behind them, their
Hmm.
meaning into what you're creating. Those things too are really helpful if you're doing spell work, but like let's say you want to do like a candle spell. I've done this where I'm like, I want fire energy in whatever I'm doing. I'm like traveling, I'm in a hotel, I can't use a candle. Incorporate that symbol for fire into the sigil I'm creating, right? So it's very interesting. There's a lot of um I, I and somewhere I had this like saved, but I'm just gonna go on Pinterest right now and search this up so I can tell you exactly what to look up because it's really cool. And I know we began this episode by saying like don't necessarily like always just go to sigils other people create, but I'm talking more the like the core sort of like simplified that have like a history of like what
Yeah.
they mean throughout time. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Sigils and meanings. Yeah, you can. So there's a lot here. You can search it on Pinterest or Google. Um,
Hmm.
and it's going to explain how you make it and stuff too. But um, that's kind of fun to play with too. But we can talk about like step by step how we like to create sigils.
Yeah. I also have a video on my Instagram and on my TikTok.
There you
If you want to
go.
scroll back a little bit, if you're like, okay, what did they talk about? This is how like a couple ways that I make mine. I've posted on there. So if you want to like not scroll through the whole episode again.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
also on my YouTube Magic with Sadie, if you there's a masterclass on there called Abundance Alchemy,
Mm,
and I'm like looking at the slides for it right now because I we make a sigil in it
nice.
for the abundance spell. So if you want to just scroll forward to that part, you can follow the step by step for anything or follow the whole class for a great abundance spell. It's on my
Perfect.
YouTube. It's one of my more popular videos on there. So go
Nice.
check that out. But um yeah, do you want to explain this step by step?
Sure. One of the ways to do it is to write out your intention.
Hmm.
So I feel like the example I always use, just because it's the easiest one, is like, I am confident, and you're writing it out.
That's the
Is
example
that
on
what
my
it
page.
is?
I am
um,
confident and successful.
I'm confident and successful, and write it out like present tense, or as if it's like happening, right?
Hmm.
Um, Same way that you like write out your manifestations and things.
Hmm.
Um, and then you cross out in that sentence, you cross out the vowels and repeating letters.
Hmm.
And then you take the letters that are left, and you can either use those letters and kind of squish them all together into a shape that you create.
Hmm.
Um, or you can write out like 1 to 9 and then
Mm.
put the alphabet underneath it, if that makes sense. So like A would be 1, B 2, C 3, and so on. And then take the letters that you have left
Hmm.
and kind of like draw a little bit of a circle with the
Hmm.
numbers like 1 through 9. It's kind of hard to like
Yeah,
verbally
I'm not following this
explain.
one. This
Yeah,
isn't how I've ever done it.
it's hard to like verbally explain.
Yeah.
Um, this is like one of the ways that I explain it on in a video, so it's probably
Yeah.
easier to
These are,
follow
it
it
is
along
hard to do it without
there.
visual. Yeah.
But so you'll take, actually I could just write it out here. If you're listening, sorry. But let's see. Ugh.
What I'll do is like what she said about like cross out the vowels and the repeating letters, and then whatever you have left, I simplify the letters into shapes. So the example I have on this one, on my screen, just making your own protection symbol with like literally the word protection. So, for example, P would be a letter left over. So I just separate the P into like a line and like a C type
Yeah.
shape. And then like R would be like a line and a slanted line and another curved shape. And I break them all into shapes, and then you have like the shapes that you create a symbol with. That's what I
Yes.
do.
That's kind of what I meant by like jumbling them all
Yeah, I'll
together.
like
So
kind
you
of
can
like
like
spread them
squish.
out and then you rearrange all the shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
can do it that way. You can like squish the letters together. And then what I meant was kind of like this, like you write like one, two,
Hmm.
three, four all the way around. Or you can like jumble the numbers around, and then you kind of take the corresponding number for whatever letters are left. And then like
Hmm.
let's say you had like one here, and then you draw like this. I don't know if you can see. And then you would like take your letters left and then like kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Kind
It's
of.
hard to explain
Yeah.
without like a visual representation.
Yeah.
But you essentially just like draw connecting lines with
Mhm.
the numbers and their corresponding,
Yeah.
the letters and their corresponding numbers. And then that's how you get your shape. And then you can
I have a
like
shape.
take that shape and like add embellishments, like if you wanted to add some dots or some lines or whatever, if that feels good to you to make it your own.
Hmm. Or what we talked about, the other like the elements or
Yeah,
feminine
exactly.
energy or masculine energy or whatever. Like let's say like you are trying to get a creative project off the ground, but you feel like you have all the ideas, but you can't act on it. Like maybe you want to put like masculine energy into that sigil because you need that like action taker or like go
Yeah.
go go energy because you're stuck in this sort of like idea intuitive stage like that for example, you could add
Yes,
that in.
exactly.
Or fire energy to like light a fire
That's
in
what
your
I was gonna
house or
say. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like whatever you needed, right?
Yeah.
And then, so you created your symbol,
Now
and
what?
now what? You need to activate that shit.
Yes.
And so I thought this was so cool when I was reading, I can't remember which Dr. Joe Dispenza, also known as Dr. Daddy Dispenza in my book. I can't remember which book. I've read a lot of his books. I really like his work because, I like science and experiments and magic. He doesn't call it magic, but it is. But he doesn't call it sigils, but in one of his books, he basically breaks down clear intention and activating a symbol. But he talks about just like representing it by like a letter. So you could also do that, right? Like we said, like it could be like, I just want a triangle to be the symbol, right?
Yeah.
Great, perfect. You don't have to make a fancy thing. So in his example, he just picks like a letter. Like in the example, I have a screenshot from the book on this. And you'd think I would have written down what book it was from, but I can't remember. It's definitely over there right now. Oh, Becoming Supernatural.
Mm.
That's the book. Becoming Supernatural. That's where this is from.
It's on my TBR.
It's really good. But he there's this page where he describes, and so he's talking to his son who's wants to whatever. He has an intention. He's leaving college, what comes next, whatever. And they represent his intention by the letter J in
Okay.
this. Like, so it doesn't matter. So I just thought this was so cool because I'm like, this is a sigil, right? But so
Yes.
you can pick a letter S to represent yourself, Sadie, whatever.
Yeah.
Letter P for Pam, right? Whatever. So he lays out what is the intention mean to you, like defining very clearly what this is for you, what the sort of parameters. So like let's say okay, I'm just going to use the example straight from there. So his son's trying to figure out what he wants to do, okay? So his intention is something like it doesn't say it on this page, but his intention is something like like I am so grateful for my dream job. Something like that, right? Kind of vague.
Yeah.
So you need to get more specific, but you can make a sigil. Yeah, J stands for job. That's what J stands for in this example, right? So let's say you're manifesting your dream job, your intention, you're doing the letter breakdown, cross out, creating a thing. It's like, I'm so grateful I'm in my dream job. So the intention behind that in this example, the parameters that are getting more specific are one, work from anywhere in the world. Two, make the same amount of money or more. He must have been in a job he didn't like. Um, three, love what I do. Four, be my own boss and lead my own team. So those are the like parameters of like what his like dream job is, right? So if you're like, I am, in this example, we were doing an abundance spell. So if you're like manifesting a specific amount of money, that's great, but you need to connect it to like what it means for your life. So the intentions there would be like, I'm gonna invest in this thing. I'm gonna pay this off. I'm gonna take my friend to lunch. I'm gonna whatever. You're putting parameters on it. Like we have to give these things meanings and specificity.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part of that, so that's the thoughts. It's like making it like make sense. There's a connection to our thoughts. And then the other part is feelings, and that's the heart. So Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches us about brain heart coherence. And like when these are
Okay.
in agreement, that's what alignment means. And that's ultimately the key to manifestation. And what mindset work is all about is getting our brain to agree with our heart because our heart wants these beautiful things, big dreams, and our brain goes, no, 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 we can't do that, right? So that's what we're doing here. So then what are the feelings of your dream job? Or what are the feelings that you'll feel when you manifest this specific amount of money or whatever your intention is, right? So here the example is empowered, in love with life, free, grateful. So you're identifying what it means for your life, what's different about your life, the specifics of it, and then how these things would make you feel. And then to activate the sigil itself. So I would like literally write this down next to the sigil, have the sigil on your page, draw a circle around it, write down more specifics about this, write down the feelings, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty simple. It doesn't have to be like a long time, but do a short meditation where you're visualizing, or you can script this, but put those things into like, you know, see it like a movie or write it out like it's a letter, like it's a diary entry, like it happened, and tap into the feeling. Feel excited, feel grateful, feel free, feel empowered, like, and try to hold on to those emotions for at least 30 seconds, which isn't a
Yes.
long time.
Yeah.
That's what Dr. Joe Dispenza says. And then he says, just try to tap into those elevated, he says, elevated emotions. That's what he says. He says to try to do that like 30 seconds, like multiple times, like throughout the day until that thing happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I like to do with the sigil to take it a step further is I will visualize that sigil in my mind's eye. I'll like visualize it like floating up from the page in front of me and my heart space opening up like a little beam, like it's a little UFO beaming a light and it's ready to like suck in the sigil. And while I'm holding those emotions, I imagine it like planting itself into my heart. Or you could
Mm-hmm.
imagine planting it into your brain, like whatever, but I like to like plant it in my heart space.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's kind of like how I like to like finish it off is like I like the sigil exists there, but I imagine like I'll like play it out like a movie in my head that this has manifested. I'll feel the emotions and then I'll visualize it floating up and becoming a part of me. And that's how I like to do it. And I would love,
Love
Pam,
that.
how you like to do it, how you like to activate your
Yeah,
sigils.
I like that. I kind of hold it in my hand and like imagine like just like pouring activating energy into it, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Or you can burn it. But if you're burning it and you're like, this is something I want to reuse, make sure you write it down somewhere else because
Yeah.
you're not gonna remember how to draw it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I also saw that there's like kind of different kinds of sigils where there's
Mm.
like a destructible one, and those are ones that are activated by just being destroyed.
Mm.
Um, and it's kind of like an immediate thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like temporary ones, which I guess I never really like had a name for it, but this is what I'll do. Like if, especially if it's like confidence or a beauty one, or like if you're doing like
Mm.
glamour magic kind of thing, is like
Mm-hmm.
writing it. They're like temporary. So if you like write it on your skin or something like that,
Yeah.
um, because it fades over time.
Mm-hmm.
That's also like if you're using it on um like in a candle spell, like something that's gonna be
Yeah.
not there forever. And then there's
Yeah.
ones that you intend to use for a long time. And that's like, I have ones that I use on my house for like protection. And those are like long-term ones that kind of
Mm-hmm.
sometimes need to just be a little bit like recharged and
Mm-hmm.
reactivated.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those, for the ones for my house, I like to burn them.
Mm.
Because to me it feels more like yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a bit more like protective too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, bit more like kind of fiery,
Mm-hmm.
literally. And that's how I like to activate mine.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's like there's no one right way to create the sigil, activate the sigil. The most important thing, like we already like discussed, is really just like getting into that feeling. So if it's a
Yeah,
protection sigil, right? It's like what is it how do you feel when you are protected? You feel like grounded, you feel like, you know,
safe.
whatever,
Yeah.
safe. Um it's just about like really like and like sending that into you can imagine it like lighting up. Like I'll usually imagine it sort of like like a light going around it and like I don't know, like I imagine like a superhero crest would like light up or something, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of like that. Um but yeah, and you can, I mean, I think the uses is just like creatively they're like endless, really.
Endless, yes.
When I think I briefly mentioned this last week, but one of the things I do every year is create a sigil that I put on the front and back of my planner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll like do it a little bit differently every year. I haven't done it this year yet, actually. Maybe I'll do it after this. But I might just use I could just use my word of the year, which is outrageous. Um, I think in the past, I think last year, or no, 2 years ago, I was really struggling with focus. And
Mm,
so the sigil was like, I am focused and disciplined. And I put that on the front and back of the planner because that's connected to those things. And I struggle a lot less with that now. So I
hell
feel like
yeah.
it really worked last year. And I also scripted that for my, um, yeah, in 2023. Um, I scripted that. And like, I feel like I'm much more like go with the flow, trust my energy, focus on the days I feel focused, don't feel really, I learned about that for myself. So I feel like that really worked.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'll do my planner. Um, I need to recharge one, but I have just a little one in my wallet, just like a little protection one along with some protection crystals. I think it's like so faded now because like paper gets like everything rubs off. So I think I just need to make a
Yeah.
new one. You could write a sigil on the bottom of your shoes if you wanted, or like in
Uh-huh.
like the tongue or something. Yeah, in your home, like when you're like washing your windows, you could like trace like
That's
the
what I
sigils
do.
in
Yeah.
them. Yeah. Um, you could, you could put a sigil for love or something like under your bed where you sleep or on your bedside table. Um, I don't know. You like it's really endless. You can take a picture of it and put it on the background of your computer if it's one for focus or something, right?
Yeah.
Um, there's so many ways you can use it, and it can just be a single word like focus, or it can be a feeling confident, or it can be more drawn out, like you're manifesting something specific, and this sigil represents like the thing, more specific thing
Yeah.
that you're
And you don't
manifesting.
like, if you end up making a lot of them, you don't, keep a journal of them, put them in your
Hmm.
um whatever you want to call it, book of shadows, grimoire,
Hmm.
notebook, journal, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and especially if you have ones that need to be recharged, set a reminder if you are like me.
Hmm.
Um, and then also you kind of like, so, sorry, when you were talking, what I was thinking about was like you can have all these different ones with all these different intentions, and it doesn't mean that you have to like use them every single day. Um,
Yeah, they're
um,
kind of a set it and forget it vibe, other than
yeah,
like, reactivating any that are sort of just like ones you always want to have like
exactly.
around.
And what popped into my mind, did you ever read The Mortal Instruments or watch them? If you watched them, I'm sorry. They're so bad. But they made it into a TV show and it was much better, but the movie was it was one of those movies where I was like, I can't stop watching this because it's so bad.
So I felt my meditation this morning.
It was
Like I
just
can't
like,
stop watching this.
I can't. And you're just like, did I read the same book? Like, is this based off of the book that I read, or is there a different one? It was so bad. Anyway,
That sucks.
I
That's so
do really like the
disappointing.
books. They're very like YA, fantasy kind of things, but
Yeah.
um the whole point is that they are shadow hunters, so they like fight
Mm,
demons and protect the human world, but they have all these runes tattooed all over them, and like they
mm.
activate the ones they need at the certain times, and that's what that made me think
Oh,
of.
I love
Anyway,
that.
all of that to say, that's
I love
what was
that.
popping into my head.
Yeah. Yeah, also like our subconscious is like a library of everything that's ever happened. It has perfect memory. So your conscious mind doesn't need to remember all this stuff all the time. Like keep track of it for your own, so if you're gonna recharge it and stuff. But like you don't have to like on any given day be able to like recall like
Yeah.
this is the symbol for this, because your subconscious knows and it's in there. If you activate it and you set the intention, like you have subconscious is the I always
It's
visualize it
logged.
as like the um when they go to the Ministry of Magic and all the prophecies are in the,
Yeah.
that's like our subconscious. It's a
Juicy.
perfect, if it's a perfect record of our entire life of
Yeah.
everything, perfect
I just
memory.
posted this TikTok that I saw of the Order of Phoenix.
Oh, and I
When
did it
they're
like
in there and they're
backwards.
like, this is the way to do it. This is the way to watch it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's when he's fighting next to Sirius, and he's like, "This is the only way to watch this movie." And then Sirius goes, "Nice one, James," and then she closes the computer. It's just like that's it. End of movie. Bye.
Exactly. I love watching my favorite movies that I don't like the endings and just not watching the end. I love watching Edward Scissorhands and just not watching the end. It makes me too sad.
Yeah.
Same with Moulin Rouge. Love Moulin Rouge. Don't watch the end.
Or Sirius. R.I.P.
Oh,
Um,
yeah,
but
rip. That's
yeah,
sigils,
that's sigils.
baby. I'm trying to think if there's anything else,
I
but
don't think so. I just like Sadie said, writing them in like on planners and stuff, like they can be
hmm
like really helpful, like visual
hmm
cues too, like when you see them and you're like, oh yeah, this is what I wanted this year.
yeah.
Like this is
Oh, I remembered a way that I really like to use sigils. If
okay.
anyone here likes to craft, make art, whatever, I would specifically do this when I used to paint stuff that my intention was to like
Yeah.
have it in my home, where I would just in like, because I would usually do like a white paint base before I started painting whatever I wanted to paint on it, or like an underpaint of a certain color. But I would put a sigil there and then paint over it,
Yeah.
but it's still there. And then you can paint whatever you want over it. Or you could also just be cheeky and put like little miniature sigils somewhere in your art. Or I don't know, it's kind of fun if you're like artsy or crafty and you make stuff. That's a fun thing you can do too,
Hmm.
is and put it in your art.
Yeah.
You can do that a lot. Yeah.
Okay, yay.
Yay!
That's it.
That's it. Go team.
Go team.
If you have any questions about sigils, let us know. It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
describe the
They
making
are,
of them
yeah.
because it's very visual, at least for these two pea brains that can't take verbal cues. Both of us are not good at like I can't. I was laughing because I watched something about it was like when someone's explaining the rules of a board game to me. I
Stop.
literally I'm like please be quiet. Give like I've gotten in fights before because I'm like just give me the directions. I am not gonna. They're like no I'll explain to you. I'm like
I
give
need
they're
you.
right there. You fucking hand them to me because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna know how to play if you explain it to me. I need
No.
to read it.
I need to read it and then I'll watch you do the first round and then I'll get it.
Yeah, yeah. We're both visual learners in this
Yeah.
house.
No, literally, like yeah. I there's this game. Actually, you might know because you're from Wisconsin.
Mm,
But there's this
Boom
game.
cup? I'm just kidding.
No, it's called
Okay.
Rage Cage. Um, um, but Euchre, it's a card game.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know how to play.
I toured with a bunch of Canadians and and somebody from Michigan. And so they were
Yeah.
all trying to explain this game to me. And I was just like, I don't understand. Like I cannot, I'm not comprehending. I don't get
Yeah.
it.
I don't know how
Please.
to play. I don't know how to play. But euchre is really popular. And then my family plays sheep's head, which I think is similar or maybe another name for it. I don't know. Nobody yell at me if I'm completely wrong about that. But one year for Christmas, my dad was like, all I want for Christmas this year is for all you kids to learn how to play sheep's head because it's a really complicated game. But his whole family plays every holiday. None of us could figure it out. And my dad's not patient. He couldn't teach us. He was like, we tried once years ago and it did not go well.
Ended
We're all
in
like,
fights.
what? Yeah.
Honestly, board games and card games can be really hard though sometimes. I always think of
Yeah.
this. I don't remember who it was, what comedian, maybe like Dane Cook or something like that. But he's talking about Monopoly and he's just like, it's not that Monopoly is hard, it just takes so long. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't care, Grandma, it's 4 in the morning. Just take the property. I don't care.
I Yeah, my family is like, well, my dad's not, but we're a games family. Like at like Christmas Eve, that's what we do. We play a bunch of games and we see how long before a fight breaks out.
Yeah.
We're all very competitive. My step family too. Um, but yeah, I love games.
I do
But
too.
just let me teach myself how to play it, you know?
The last couple years we've been playing Code Names. That's a fun board
Mm,
game.
I don't know
Actually, I
that
guess
one.
it's not really a board game, it's more like a game, but there's
Yeah.
cards. Um, and then that's kind of it. Or we always played like Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Um,
play that sometimes.
and
We
then
always play catchphrase. That's like
mm,
our favorite. That
yeah.
usually ends with
This
fights.
year, the one edition that we had was I bought Christmas crackers for everybody. So those are fun.
Oh, I've never done that.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not really like
that's
a
fun.
game, but they're just fun.
I
It's
was
like a
like,
British thing.
yeah, right. I
Yeah.
just learned about that. I was like, what is that? Huh?
Yeah.
Um, but we played this culture tags game, and that was kind of fun where it was like common phrases, but they only give you the first let. So for instance, like, we'll type like if you know, like IKYK, whatever. So it's like things like that, like abbreviated. So, but you can give a hints, kind of like catchphrase, like you're giving hints
Mm,
and they're trying to figure it out, but they're like some of them, like if you know was on there, but like a lot of them, so many of them, we were like, what? I've never said that in my life. And it was super fun to try to figure out that because you could like break down the phrase and get people to say it, but we would be like, what the fuck is that from? And the funniest one was there was like a religion category, so it was like Bible quotes and stuff. Like, I don't know, it was just really funny. That game was fun. But yeah, and then we were doing all sorts of. Did you see on TikTok? This is silly goofy time round two. We're gonna close out with some silly goofy
yeah.
time. Did you see on TikTok people doing it where they made like a with tape like square on the ground and then
I
you
wanted to
turned
do
on
that
Cotton Eye
so
Joe
badly. So
and then
badly.
so I don't think I like posted any of my Christmas. I have really funny videos. So my family, we all did that. We did two at a time. So if anyone didn't see this, you make two square. We just had like painter's tape, right? We put
Yeah.
two squares on the ground, like I don't know, like a foot by a foot or something, like for you to
Yeah.
stand in. And then you have to close and cover your eyes so you can't see anything. And then you play the song Cotton Eye Joe, and you have to march to the beat of it. And you have to you're like da 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 Cotton Eye Joe. So you're really marching, okay? First of
Yeah.
all, you feel like an idiot. I was
And the
convinced that
objective is to stay in the
stay
box.
in the square. That's the objective. Okay. So first of all, I hadn't seen this trend and they were saying, "Oh, it's a TikTok trend, whatever, we're gonna do it." And I was convinced that the trend was actually that they were tricking me and I just looked like an idiot doing it by myself. But I was like, "It's fine. I'll take one for the team."
Yeah.
I was convinced. I was like, "Am I supposed to keep marching? Do I have to keep marching?" Because I felt like it was going on forever. But I swear you don't feel like you're moving at all.
No.
You feel like you're standing in place.
I just
I not only moved, but I also completely turned like 90 degrees. Nobody stopped me. I ran into this
I was
pillar
just gonna
in
say
my
I just saw
house.
one where somebody walked into the wall.
Yeah. I was like, nobody was gonna. I think my stepsister's boyfriend at the last second was like gonna like stop it. I mean, I didn't run into it hard, but I just fully ran into a wall. And we were just like crying, laughing because you do look so dumb doing it. And like you move so much and it's
Yeah.
so funny and you just don't believe it. You're like, no, I can stay in
Yeah.
one place, but you
Yeah.
can't.
No, I wanted to do it with everybody and then I don't remember why we did. I think we
We
just
can
like
do it when
ran
we're
out of time or
together.
something. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so funny. And then we thought, so because we have a big crew, I had, it's me and my two brothers, so there's three of us, and then I have three step siblings, and everybody else has a boyfriend or girlfriend or fiance except me. So it's
So I'm
like
coming to Sadie's Christmas next year,
so
basically.
my
Even it
family's
out for
like, so
everybody.
who are you dating this year? Oh, a different person, great. I'm like, yep. You know me. Um, yeah, Pam could be my date next year. But we do have so much fun. So anyways, but my point is like even though it's the immediate family, it's a big group.
Yeah.
So anyways, we had this idea that So I need everybody's help with ideas. So we had this idea that everyone puts like 25 or $50 into a pot, and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have a real, like a serious talent contest. And so we'll all put like 25 or $50 in, which will be a decent sized pot for the
Yeah.
winner. And we have to take it seriously and each perform for the talent show. And then everybody will like get a vote. You can't vote for yourself, and everyone will vote who they think had the best talent. So I have a year to prepare. And we decided like if we're gonna make this a family tradition, you can't do the same talent 2 years in a row. Like you always have to like learn something new, do
Yeah.
something different, right? And like, so, the obvious thing for me would be to like do a dance because
Yeah.
I'm a trained dancer. I was like, maybe I'll bring some of my old point shoes with me and learn how to dance on point again. I feel like that would impress everybody. But no, I'm not doing that. But I feel like I need something that'll surprise. I want to come in unexpected. So any ideas that anybody has for me for talents? I really want to win. I have
Um,
I have 11 and a half months to prepare.
what if you learned baton twirling?
Ooh,
Because that's like
that's
also
pretty
kind of
good.
dancey.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. And
Fire dancing.
I was gonna say I could get the batons that you light on fire.
Yeah.
It's cold in the winter and I definitely have to do that outside.
Yeah.
Fire or no fire, the
Dedication
batons
to
would
the
need to
bit.
be
Yeah.
outside, but I would do it. I'll travel. Like, you travel with us? This set of batons. I gotta train. Take this very seriously.
Yeah.
So, anyways, okay, so baton, that's a good idea. Take it into consideration.
Mm.
What would you do in a talent show?
Um, I don't know. I don't have a lot of like talents. I feel like.
Okay, but I don't know. What would you want to do if you could learn it? You had a year to learn it. And you're like, that would be really fun to learn how to do that really good and just be randomly really good at this one thing because I practiced it.
Gymnastics.
Yeah. Maybe I'll learn how to do like a backflip this year.
Yeah.
It'll just be that. I'm like just one singular backflip.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. I did it. When I was watching the gymnastics in the Olympics, like I was like, man,
Yeah.
do that. That's amazing.
Yeah. It is really cool. So
I could see you
dangerous.
being a gymnast. Did you ever take gymnastics?
I did when I was little, but I was doing so many things that
Mm,
like something had to go. So I think gymnastics was what
yeah.
went. Because
Yeah.
I did so much as a little kid.
What else were you doing?
I played soccer, I played
Mm.
softball, I played basketball, I rode horses,
Oh,
um, I did karate, and we were like, I
you
don't
have so
like
many
we don't
talents.
have
What are you
time for
talking
all of
about?
this. I don't have time for all of this.
Ooh, maybe I'll learn how to karate chop a slice of wood.
Oh
That would be a
yeah.
good talent show.
Yeah.
I feel like I could find wood around the world in places. You guys got 2x4s here? I'll take 10.
Yeah, with your head.
First, I'll start out with my hand, and they'll be like, wow, I can't believe she learned how to do that. And then I'll do my head.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, the crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
That might be it.
Yeah. We punch through paper, like stacks of paper, is what we do.
Mm. I
Like
do
every
think I would
year you
enjoy
got
learning
like more.
karate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wanted it to go because I feel like in karate you learn combinations and stuff like you do in dance. So I feel like I would enjoy karate. And there's like discipline and posture and that shit. I love that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, Giggly Witches.
That was good. Honestly, that's like probably like an hour 20. Not bad.
Okay, wait, we
Not
didn't sign
bad.
off yet.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just applauding us.
Oh, we did good. We didn't over talk. We talked about the right amount.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were just gonna be done and like, all right, so
No.
do you want to do the sign off?
No.
Okay, I will. No. Okay, Giggly Witches, make sure you're following us on socials. We're at Giggly Witches, wherever you want to find us. You can tune into episodes on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you like to tune in. And we would really appreciate if you left us a review if you're on Apple or Spotify. And heck, while you're at it, share this episode with a friend.
Yeah.
Help us get the
Share it.
word out.
Or
Share.
else.
We're going to be worldwide this year and we need your help.
Yeah, but also
Or
for
else.
realsies, when you like leave a comment or a review or all the things, that really does help us out
Yes.
a
So
lot.
we appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
We will have lots of fun. We're dreaming up an amazing line of guests and
Yes.
podcast episode ideas. But if you ever have any special requests, let us know. Shoot
Oh my
us a
God, we
DM.
love hearing it.
We love hearing from you.
Yes.
You can find me, Sadie, at I am Sadie Olson on Instagram and TikTok. I hang out more on Instagram. And you can on YouTube, this is not coming out of me smoothly. On YouTube, I'm Magic with Sadie. I have lots of guided tapping videos for you to use to get your mindset right and some spell masterclasses, things like that. Currently, I'm doing readings. I have my membership where we meet every month to script and explore other magical methods. The whole point is that, we're in community together, holding each other accountable, keeping the energy flowing, and using these magical methods to upgrade our mindset and create our dream lives together. So I have that going on, and I have a very fun I haven't named it yet, but we're going to it's going to be like a retreat. It's going to be a series of master classes in February connected to Valentine's Day and getting in the energy of love, self-love, all of the things. That's going to be really powerful and cool. So keep an eye out for more details on that.
Very cool.
And Pam, what you got going on?
I am Velvet Snake Oracle on TikTok and Instagram. And you can download my tarot freebie, which teaches you all about how to read tarot for yourself for free.
Wow.
Free. And you can sign up to join my newsletter. It's got fun things. I'm gonna be more on top of it this year. Probably.
Probably.
No, I really want to be more on top of it. And you'll get like first dibs on sales when I have my offers back, and just like cool astrology information and tarot tips and magic things and all kinds of fun stuff. And yeah, I've got some other cool little tester items coming out soon-ish. So stay tuned for that. Email list will be the first ones to know.
Email list. Yes, I also have a scripting freebie if you want to learn how to use scripting.
Yeah.
I always forget about that too. I got a great freebie too. Also, one I've been creating and I keep changing that I've mentioned before and that I didn't put out yet. So keep an eye out.
Yeah, you know what? New year, new things.
Exactly. All right, Giggly Witches. Thank you so much. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.